Get ready for an electrifying showdown as two basketball powerhouses collide. Welcome to the FIBA Women's Asia Cup 2023 Division A. We bring you the highly anticipated group phase clash between China and Korea. Both teams are known for their fierce competitiveness and exceptional skill on the court. This is more than just a game. It's a battle for dominance in Asian women's basketball. So sit back, grab your popcorn, and let's dive into the action as these two giants go head-to-head for glory.
China can get themselves up to the top spot if they can win here. Korea third, and Lebanon sitting in that fourth spot. So we're going to take a look at the teams warming up now. You can see the China fans in the house. They've been supporting their team all the way through this tournament, and they're out in force once again, hoping for another win. 2 wins in a row. They'll be hoping for a third one. So we'll take a look at the teams coming out now, and here is Korea. They've been pretty happy with their tournament so far, you think, Mark. A win yesterday, then a narrow loss to New Zealand on Monday. They'd come in with a bit of confidence.
Well, the loss to New Zealand's going to be the one that really hurts them in the crossovers. They're going to have a much tougher crossover unless they win. If they win, they would definitely take second spot because of the points difference in the little three-way league table. They'd have to win by 36 to go above China. So China's pretty much certain to win the group. But becoming second would mean a crossover against the Philippines, who won their last game that you covered. And that's a much better prospect than facing the loser of Japan and Australia. No disrespect to the Philippines, but you'll be playing against the top 10 team in the world if you come third in this group.
Here is China now. They're definitely a top 10 team in the world. Ranked second. They've looked solid in their 2 wins, and we'll be hoping to avoid yet another silver medal at this tournament, Mark.
Well, I think that's the only question mark. It's been over a decade since they've won any international tournament, whether it be regional or on a world stage. This team is pretty much as close as they're going to get without actually doing it. This should be their tournament in terms of the players and everything else. This should be their tournament. They are the favourites, but you've got to get the win on the floor.
Absolutely. We're going to head down courtside now to hear the national anthems of both Korea and China in this highly anticipated Group A clash.
Ladies and gentlemen, I would invite you to be upstanding for the national anthem of the Republic of Korea. Please remain standing for the national anthem of China.
So a big round of applause at the end of that China anthem. And you can see the teams about to come into the middle, and as they have been, exchanging gifts, pleasantries before we get into the thick of the game. China getting into the middle and getting themselves organised. The referees for our game today, Prita Mongwi, Oh Xiong Chan, and Jacqueline Dover controlling things. Thailand, Malaysia, and Australia. 3 very capable referees, and they're probably needed because this is going to be a very entertaining clash. Here is the Korean warm-up. You'll see they're starting 5 in a second. Both have very strong lineups, but Jisoo Park and Jeon Park, Mark, have been vital for this Korean team throughout this tournament.
Well, Jisoo Park is a superstar on the world stage. She is a real quality player. The difference between the 2 lineups is that she's pretty much like literally on her own on the inside in terms of real quality. Just depends how well this team shoot the basketball, because they're quick enough, their defense is going to be active enough. So the only 2 questions for me: are they going to shoot the ball well enough, and how are they going to decide to guard Zhu Han? How are they going to decide to guard her? Are they going to go one-on-one with Jisoo Park? That's a matchup that is going to take a lot of Jisoo Park's effort, and I think they need her more at the offensive end to be a factor if they're going to get the win. The other thing for them is their leadership from Danbi Kim is the other vital thing. The veteran at 33 really does do a super job, and she didn't start the first game against New Zealand. She started ever since. It's pretty much the same lineup that they've got, but can shoot the ball. Everyone on this team can shoot the ball. Will they do it today? That's the factor. It's not like they've got to outscore China, but they really do have to tick the scoreboard over enough to keep them in the game. Sun Yu-jung, the coach, a lot of pressure. Korea expects to be in the Olympic qualifiers. If they lose today, that's going to be a really, really tough ask. So big pressure game for coach.
Absolutely right. And China equally would be feeling the pressure. I mean, we've spoken about their record of coming second, and they're getting some words now from their coach, Zhong Wei. We're going to see a strong starting 5 as we have all tournament from the Chinese team: Siyu Wong, Li Wei Young, Mong Li, Shen Chi-pan, and Shu Han. And we saw Shu Han both games, both double-doubles. So she's the one that looms large in this game once again. But of course, they have firepower off the bench. They have firepower everywhere. So it's not about stopping one player, as we know, Mark. It's about controlling the whole team. Yeah,
but Zhu Han is a superstar. You know, if you're going to be a champion team on the world stage, everybody has a superstar, and then you have quality around. And so China have that balance. I really thought that Mong Li is an exceptional player who can really create for everybody else. Everyone else is solid. Their backcourt is quick. Their backcourt, if you leave them alone, can nail shots. And as I say, I think it really does come down to how Korea decide to play them defensively. What sort of tempo do they want on the game? I'm just not sure if they're getting to too much up and down. I think China have too much firepower. So knowing when to push and when to be under control is going to be a real key for Korea. But they're a world-class team, so they know how to do it. But they also lost heavily, very heavily, to China in last year's World Cup.
Absolutely right. Last time these 2 teams met, it wasn't good reading for Korean fans, but if you're a China fan, you're backing your team all the way in. 2 wins already from 2 games, 2 double-doubles for Shu Han, who's in the center of that huddle on your screen now. They'll be feeling all the confidence and to finish at the top of their group. Korea, they want to cause an upset. They want to prove to this competition that they belong here. They belong in the medal contention. It'll be a big task for them to do, but they've got all the weapons. It'll be a great clash here in Sydney, Australia, as both teams enter the court. And we're nearly ready for action. You can hear the crowd getting up and about as well. A lot of China fans in the house. Welcome to Sydney. It's China who win the first tip in their FIBA Women's Asia Cup battle with Korea. And it'll be Mong Li who takes proceedings first. Young now, captain of China. Has done a great job of leading her team. Han just lost her first possession. And it's a good first up win for Korea.
Well, straight man to man, but obviously looking to help on Zhu Han as she goes to the inside. Little bump as she tried to make the cut, but the help was there, and that's how they got the deflection. Like the pressure on the perimeter, though. Nice start for Korea.
Here's Park. Goes for an early three. And Hahn's there for the rebound. She'll have a great battle with Jisoo Park today. One.
So that's really interesting, though. They went underneath the screen. They'll go underneath the screen until Korea start making shots.
Hahn thought about it. Now wants an option. Wang. Hahn gets it a bit more closer range. Park's there for the boards. And it was a heavy collision there with Lee Wei-young.
Well, you like it both ways because Jisoo Park was just protecting the basketball, and Lee Wei-young just ran into her, really.
Here's Lee now. Going up against Wang, the 2 point guards. Lee finds a way through. And she'll have 2 shots.
Well, they're not hanging around, Korea. That's 2 early looks where they've looked to push. The first one, a wide open 3. That was a good aggressive move. So they're challenging China to go on. But as we said at the beginning of the game, they've got to make. That's a shot she would want to make, expect to make. The open 3 is a shot they believe they can make enough of to win the game. So statement of intent is, I was interested to see how they would try and play the game tempo-wise. I still fear that China have just too much if they want to run up and down.
So Lee getting the first points on the board for Korea. They draw first blood in this important game in Group A. And straight away, we're going to have some bench movement here from China. Lee Wei-young coming off after that heavy clash, so we hope all is okay. And Wei Na-jin heading onto the floor, and again, Lee hitting the deck. Physical clash early. And Korea get another stop.
It's the great thing is they're digging in at the ball. The great thing is on their help. They're not just helping, they're digging in at the ball. And they're asking again, they're asking questions. You know, China struggled a bit to get going yesterday, and they're struggling to get going today.
Park been so dominant this whole tournament. And will go to the free throw line to get her first points of the game. So China with a couple of early fouls. It's not something we've really seen from them so far this tournament.
But they're having to deal with a team that's being very, very aggressive. And what a great option it is. You've got Jisoo Park running the pick and roll with the ball with the guard screen. And again, it's a different look. It's something that is going to, again, ask questions. That's all you can do. Ask the question, try and execute, and see what answers your opponent comes up with. But wouldn't every team love to have a 5 that can run the pick and roll like that?
First points on the board for Park, aiming to follow up that 9-point performance against Lebanon. Wang. Han. Mongli. Into Pan. And a good intercept there. Lee off and running now. Park, the woman who started it all, can't finish it.
Oh, you feel for her.
Lee shoves her fellow number 9 out of the way. And Korea have started this game exceptionally well. See here the contact between Mongli.
I don't think Lee made any attempt to play the basketball. They were in a bad position. She just bumped her.
Wang went under Lee. Didn't pay off. Kim being so vital for Korea in this tournament. Kang to Park. Kim wants it back and she gets it. Dumps it back into Park. Exceptional vision.
Well, timing is everything. You can't have a high IRQ if you don't give yourself a chance to read the page. And she read the page just beautifully. The cut from Park was really excellently timed. But if you have a look, she just waits until she just freezes Woo Han. Once she's frozen her, easy too.
So some subs for Korea now coming onto the floor. Ahn on for her first minutes. And Lee will take a seat. And then for China, Wan Lee on the floor. Wang takes a seat. Mong Lee. Went over the top of Kim. And China scramble for the rebound. Lee to Mong Lee. Just trying to scoop it in, but Park was there with her. Kim now. Hasn't got much ahead of her, so she just has to stop. And eventually finds a way in herself. Timeout called. Korea with all the momentum in this game. 7-0. 3 minutes played. Here's the block from Jisoo Park. And then the basket on the other end from Dunby Kim. It's all Korea at the moment. Let's head into China's huddle to see what they've got. So worrying signs for China early on. No points in the game yet. Korea look right on top. Their fans getting right behind them as well. They are probably outnumbered at the moment, but they're making so much noise. Getting right behind their team.
China have had no shot out of things they're running. They've had to try and been asked to create it for themselves and go out of what they're running. They've done a really nice job, Korea, asking people to make shots that they're not primary options. They've got to get something going here.
And that's exactly what they needed from Jin. Perfect response out of the timeout. Park now thought about it. Went to Jisoo Park, or Kim, sorry. Kim will get it back. And we'll go to work. Oh, a little backwards flick pass to An. China ball.
Well, it's a great reaction. Timeout, it's a great reaction. They run the little three-man play on the side of the floor. The defense gets frozen and sucked in on the penetration. Open player easy, and down this end, they just put a great defensive series together.
Lee to Han. Hasn't had the impact she would have liked so far.
That's offensive. Yeah. No, he's gonna call it on Korea. I won't mind seeing it again. I think Han just hipped her as she tried to go past.
Could have been trouble there if it was offensive. Mong Lee's already got a foul for the game. Here she is with ball in hand now. Stepping Jisoo Park. Can't bank it in. Han's there for the boards. Trying to dump it out to Lee and travelled with the ball in hand. A very rare error from Shu Han. And coach Zhong Wei not happy with that. Sorry, Wei Zhong. Park now. To Jisoo Park. And this time she moved her feet. So an offensive foul there. Both teams just conceding a few errors now out of that timeout. Lee. Still searching. Finds a way through, thought about it, and never looked confident with that shot. An, off and running for Korea. Park, Kim. And Mong Lee hits the deck. Another offensive foul. And Mong Lee just holding her shoulder. It's very physical out there. Korea already have their 5th team foul. You can see they're a bit...
Well, if that's a foul, then the foul that was called, then the Wuhan foul was the same. There was the same type of move. They called it defensive at one end, offensive at the other. It's an area of the game the officials are trying to make sure they clean up and are consistent on.
Mong Lee to Pan. Han for 3! That's much needed for China. It's now back-to-back threes within a point of Korea. Park gets a bucket of her own.
You know, Park's not the best three-point shooter in the world, so she doesn't step out to the three, but she takes the perimeter shot. It's like game on between those two.
5 points already for her. To go with a couple of rebounds, and she's in the action again. Streaming down the court, asking for An to pass it to her. Kang, though, gets it to Kim. An. Park. Pulls up. Can't knock it down. But An, the smallest player out there, snaps it back out to Kang for 3!
Well, there's 2 great games today. This one and then the game of Australia and Japan. This tournament's coming alive in this game. Quality.
A cracker between the Philippines and Chinese Taipei earlier on as well. Great basketball in front of your eyes in the Women's Asia Cup. Oh, Mong Lee, the backwards pass to Han.
Well, we said before the game she was a massive difference maker, and she has that little bit extra that not every player has. The ability to create for herself and her teammates.
Kim now. Oh, she's just full of class. Always finds a way in. The Korean fans show their appreciation. Mong Lee. Not quite. China ball. So here's the pass from Mong Lee, pulling out all the tricks from her party bag. And Han's happy to receive it. Gao Song now onto the floor for China. And Korea also want a sub. So Lee and An will swap places. Han, quick release, quick basket.
I mean, she's obviously she's been around for a number of years now, but you've seen her develop in front of your eyes. That shot now is so solid.
7 points already for Shu Han. Dangerous signs if you're a Korean fan. Dumbi Kim, Park, travel. So Park feeling the frustration.
Getting 0 love from the official at the moment.
So Jong Sun-min calls a timeout for her Korea team. 14 points to 10 is the lead for the Korean team here in Sydney. 3 minutes left to play in the first half. Here she is.
지금 싱글이기 때문에 얘가 다 너네한테 한 명씩 가서 스크린하기가 힘들어. 니네끼리도 주고 받다가 스크린하는 척하도 받지. 니네끼리도 2대2 스크린하는 척하고 빠지고 하라고. 그러다가 얘가 있는 쪽에서 볼을 잡았을 때 2대1을 해주라고. 이해하겠지? 래퍼하다 갈게요. 래퍼 하다가 움직이면서 찬스 보라고. 좋아, 좋아.
A little bit misleading, that stat where it goes, oh, all the 14 points have come from the starters. We're only 7 minutes into the game, so you know, contributions off the bench you will get from the Koreans. They are very interchangeable, obviously apart from Jisoo Park, but the more worrying thing for China is that all this tournament, they've shared the ball beautifully. They only have 4 assists. That'll put them on like looking to get 16 on the game if it stays at that average. And they share the ball a lot better than that normally. And they break the defense down more than that normally. But it's a great start for Korea defensively.
Oh, and already straight out of the timeout, Park stops, gives it to Kang. Lee to Kim. Here's Jisoo Park. Going to work on Shu Han and getting through the defense.
You've got 2 of the world's premier centers going at each other here. Both really skilled, both have inside-outside options.
It's been excellent viewing so far. Jin nearly loses it and does lose it in the end. Lee picked it up out of nowhere, popped up the shot and got it to go. An 8-point lead for Korea, just like that. 2 quick buckets out of the timeout.
Both coaches calling timeouts have got a great reaction out of their the guys on the floor.
Wan Lee pulls up from 3. Mong Lee this time has a go. She's not successful either. And a foul called on the rebound. Here's the basket from Jisoo Park. Spinning around Shu Han. I bet she hasn't had that done to her that much. Jisoo Park's on another level.
And there's the example of that defensive effort. Digging at the basketball, and then they turn that defensive pressure, that defensive intensity into points in transition. That gives them the 18-10 advantage. And you just can't say enough great things about the way that they've really come out in this game and challenge what China do. Great scout by their staff as well. They're literally taking them out of anything they've tried to run so far, with the exception of the play they ran coming out of the timeout when he got the open look.
The only problem for Korea is in the bonus now. Won't worry too much with a minute 51, but 2 fouls already for Kang.
And don't forget, you know, China were on the 3-team foul mark after 2 minutes. You know, they've been really disciplined to not give up any more fouls.
Jin misses both. Mong Lee let Jin take it, but it wasn't the right call in the end. Park to Lee. And share it around. Jisoo Park now.
That's a push, yeah. And why
So the Korean bench, look how up and about they are. A completely different story to the China bench at the moment. Lee Wei-young coming on just for some poise and some leadership as we approach this last 90 seconds of the first period. Kang into Park. Doesn't want to move yet. Now goes. Han's right there with her and blocks her. Big rejection from Shu Han. Mong Lee gets that taken off her as well. It's electric pace as Park stops and props, kicks it out to Kang for 3. Oh, that is sweet from Lee-Sul Kang. 21-10 Korea lead. 51 seconds left. China needs something. Just something. Mong Lee double teamed. Travel call.
There's another example of Mong Lee's outside of the system, trying to create. We're going to get a look at the block. That's just a serious. Before the block, the defense she played to give herself the chance to block was exceptional. But Korea are asking China to make moves out of their, not within their structure. And there you get a travel, then you get other breakdowns.
Kang again. That one just rolls out. Lee to Young, they still want to move quickly. Shu Han, that's a good settler. Han is carrying this China team on her back right now. Gao. What does China have left? 10 seconds now. Down 21-12. Can they bring some momentum back to Zhong Wei's huddle? Li doesn't let it off in time. And a scintillating opening quarter from Korea comes to an end. They lead it over China, 21-12.